Okay, let's talk about Dark Night of the Soul in the technological world. Dark Night of the Soul and walkabouts. So my experiences on the internet with spiritually based business sites on, like mostly YouTube, that came with a handful of voices and, like directional insight that came from seemingly nowhere. And there were times where I followed it and got into it and fed into it, like the walkabout, traveling around the country when it was popular. Some dude, I think, made it popular to travel around the country without money to basically prove humanity's generosity and intelligence. I do wish I would have not did that, but I did and got the award for it. Anyway, that came with a subtle like voice hint, background voice hint to do a walkabout. Because I do have a Native American indigenous background when it comes to ceremony, and it is, a very important thing to do, to fast and connect with the elements and learn how you coexist with the elements and getting your needs met and sending well wishes for others. Some call it prayer, but either way, giving offerings, stopping, resetting, like that's the point in all of that. Getting a vision on what to do next. So, let's say about 2 years after I quit sun dancing. I'll get better at this camera stuff. Anyway, after I quit sun dancing, it came to me to do a walkabout. But it wasn't like in nature. And I forgot that even came to me. I probably didn't want to remember it because of the way that I blindly believed it. I realized I have a habit of handing my power over, like almost easily. I intend to have the ability to value my body, mind, and soul and maintain my own self-care, my ability to do that. Money blocks are removed completely. It's a series that I want to do, like go further into it. Like things I would do differently, intervening in my own and others' addiction. Scarcity and like it perpetuates addiction. And like I come in that era where you don't give addicts money, so that in my case, the person that I didn't want to give money to, including myself, because I was spending my money to just maintain status quo in terms of emotions, because they were so erratic. But, anyway, because they were so erratic, but I did the little walkabout thing, and that's, you know, like where, the tech and, you know, like some of your belief systems from religion, your parents, what other spirit, you know, like spirituality right now is readily available online, but it's also being highly distorted and attacked. And I didn't understand that going online for and referencing those topics was pretty much, I think, the main culprit in the shitty design of my manifestations and my life. You know, and I was addicted to like needing to watch a video, learn a new skill, like, you know, especially like with the like the law of attraction videos and stuff. Some of those, like Esther's Rampage and all that stuff actually shifts how you feel, you know, like, and so I didn't understand it. It was like smoking a crack pipe, but listening to some of those. And then, you know, like some of them, you're immersed in the story that they're telling. You don't even, I didn't. Anyway. Point. The subtle intuitive voice, or, you know, like voice in your gut, may need more training to have the ability to hear and understand exactly what that is, where it's coming from, and know that energies will tell you whatever they want to hear. You know, like sometimes energies are like that boyfriend that just wants to get in your pants. He's going to tell you what you want to hear, you know, distort the name, tell you he's Jesus, you know, like maybe even have a book laying on the coffee table or the bookshelf that says soulmates to get you to think that they are interested in that type of thing. And so energies are a lot like this as well. You know, there's a lot of people who come out of meditations or readings, and they'll be like, I talked to Jesus. And, you know, like, I was always taught that you always question that. And so, like, yeah, just ground it. Take what you can, leave the rest. Discernment is... it's a hard way to go to with the way that technology is now, and not having very good discernment or refined discernment is difficult. And, you know, like, and I know we have these folks that are talking about narcissism and people treating you like shit, and if they're not answering you or doing this or that, then that's your answer and whatever. And I found with being curious within, you know, like these experiences, not everybody's moving around with their own mind or has the ability to gather and maintain focus, or has that support to have the ability to support others willy-nilly. And this has been my experiences. I've been highly supported at times, and right now I feel like, yes, it is a good thing that I'm at where I'm at right now, because I think potentially I would have just kept milking it, you know, like, because I do, you know, like I need everything right now, including relationships that are supportive to my growth, and well-being. So, but I experienced some interactions with the unseen, and what I realized, it is, you know, like people who have access to your space. Somehow you might have given them access through your email or computer, or signing something up, or if you're into digital art, it's another way. But like, I realized I'm listening to this you know, like this criticism coming from unseen sources. Feeling like I'm crazy. I ended up in the psych ward too, stabbed myself in the neck. You know, I'm truly a miracle right now. Went through a lot. And this is why I'm sharing this with you, is the importance of discernment. And if you don't love yourself right now, start trying right now. Start trying by telling your hands you love them. Find something on your face that you like. Tell that part of you that you love them. Give yourself a hug. I don't do this often enough. And that's how I get all piney and needy. Once I started loving parts of me that embarrassed me, as when I stopped doing things from that personality perspective less compulsively. So inner child work is real if you believe in it, or it's something that you're interested in. Dark night of the soul for me is real. I feel like I experienced dark night of the soul with tech because of, you know, like the guidance I get to assist kiddos in understanding themselves on an earth plane level. And it sucked. It's still, you know, like on one hand, I feel gratitude that I got a unique experience to learn from and to figure out how to, I'm going to share it, because it really is, you know, like, it's unique to me, but it's also a unique experience. And I feel like that was a gift. That's the lottery to me. And I lost my train of thought. Anyway, dark night of the soul. That shit is real. If things aren't going right for you, and they just seem like terrible the whole way through, if you got some sort of, you know, like spiritual background, some sort of insight in that arena, like that could be it, where once you learn the lessons as to why unfavorable things continue to happen in your experiences, that's, you know, like, that's where it'll start to open up, on top of adding more positive dialogue to yourself in your head, becoming aware of the dialogue that you are speaking to yourself, and then actively changing it by repetition. I got overly compulsive with doing that and pissed everybody off around me, because like, I trained my brain to just think in positive phrases, and tried shutting it down or whatever. And I did have a negative phase after that. And I feel like that training, though, assisted me with handling the external stuff that was coming at me from others, if that was even the case. Like, I feel like working with my mindset, even if it isn't perfect, gave me the ability to have better discernment. So I feel like doing that with my mind actually was a benefit and probably saved my life, literally. I need a neck tan. What else? Okay. Walkabout, dark night of the soul, discernment. Questions. If you're the spyer, if you're the one, doing the spying, please start learning how to ask viable questions as to why a person may be doing what they're doing. 9 times out of 10, personality-wise, and how everything's floating around the internet right now, where we're just writing people off of like, oh, they're not going to change. They're not going to bullshit. Every human being has the opportunity and the ability to shift their consciousness and the way that they think and the way that they live. And I know there's a lot of people out there utilizing negative traits of people to justify some shit. I suspect what it is, but I don't know. And I have a feeling I don't want to know. But guess what? If you're wrong, you deal with that karma. You deal with that karma. You still have to deal with it even if you're right. So it's not a good idea to bullshit yourself into vicariously harming another person. And I found, because it was present with myself, and I just have this weird, like, sometimes a curse, but knack to figure out, like, truth and, like, fucking bullshit that comes out of me. Ask questions. And I'll have that listed actually on my website and in a workbook as well, too. Just start supporting these arenas, because I also realize, like, my reaction is what created the negativity around these things. My reaction and my stored trauma. And then, so they're not necessarily terrible. However, the passive aggressive stuff has got to go. It's such a trigger for me because of the way that I grew up. And I'm pretty sure when I was a kid, like, that's the trigger, is like having the ability to see other entities talk through people. And not really knowing what's real or not. And so if you're requesting somebody to do something that is not coming up, shaking their hand and having them sign a contract with you, that's what I started to realize. Like, anything vicariously like that, I have no respect for anymore. And any agreements that I may have stumbled into is null and void from now on. Thrown and christened in the fire. I have no problem talking one-on-one, face-to-face. And then I understand, because I was not able to receive criticism at all without blowing up. So I get why that exists. However, feelings are pretty hurt over the assumptions about who I am, why I'm doing things, and the lack of support around what I'm doing. Like, you sit and judge, but like, come on now. I look forward to not having my content intercepted on. Anyway, my tech walkabout was definitely the dark night of the soul, and I'm really hoping that my early life was kind of a dark night of the soul, and I can really am intending strongly right now, and will fight for being happy and fluid and adventurous and fun, and not going around anybody who doesn't like me anymore. Yes. Another thing I realized too, if you're one of those that they're calling the people pleaser, or, you know, like you just kind of have, it's challenging to formulate words, to be assertive, and or you don't know your needs or anything like that, like, take a deep breath for one, because that shit's overwhelming, especially if you're, you know, older. Now, if you don't know your needs, start now figuring out what your perspectives are, honestly. It matters more than you think, and that's what keeps you out